Guys, so I am here with Teddy, and Teddy is a very orange kit. Um, you can see next to Dustin here, and I have my light on, so Teddy actually looks a bit lighter than in normal lighting. But you can definitely see the difference. This kit is very dark, very orange. And I've seen other people on YouTube and also on Facebook. I've seen a ton of posts in the last week, people having the same issue. I did not neutralize Teddy first. I thought I could just kind of neutralize as I go, and that I could get the orange under control. But Teddy has over 20 blue layers so far, and a few purple, and you can see is still bright orange. It's just getting darker and darker. Even like the lips look very peach, and the only colors I've done on the lips so far is blue and purple. So I'm just going to show you how I would lighten and neutralize a kit like this. I'm not going to strip Teddy first. I'm just going to do it over these layers that I already have here. And so for this, I have a Genesis titanium white, ultramarine blue. I have some Genesis yellow, and I have thinning medium. I have Genesis thinning medium, and I think I'm actually going to use Exodus thinning medium today. But what I'm going to do, and this is going to sound crazy if you know about color theory at all, because it goes against everything that you would makes rational sense, basically. Everything that you would assume you should not do. But I'm going to alternate layers of white with a little bit of blue and white with a little bit of yellow. So common sense would tell you you have a super orange kit, you don't want yellow anywhere near it. And I will say that is usually true. However, I got this tip from a really well-known prototype artist who is very talented, kind of the person I look up to most in the Reborn community, so I really trust her suggestions. But she said adding the white with yellow makes all the difference, and I'm telling you, it does. I've done this many times and have been able to get kits even darker than this, pretty much almost completely white. So I don't know why the yellow white works, but it does. So first I'm just going to add some thinner in here, and I'll fill another palette up to clean my brushes, which I don't think I did when I finished painting last night. But I'm going to start over here since I already have blue in that palette. And I want it a little bit wider than this. It basically turns it into kind of a bit of a periwinkle type color. And you have to be really careful with white. It can really make kits turn very chalky. And this is exactly the color that I want right there. And how I combat that chalkiness is I use a little bit of thinning medium into my mix. probably should have used this thinning medium first. But basically you want like a pea size amount total. And you want to mix that really well. And you can see right now, this is like a whole milk type consistency. I want mine to be thinner than that. So I have my color, you know, the right color basically, but I'm gonna just fill my well up the rest of the way with thinner. I want this to be very, very thin. So this is now like a wash consistency. And this takes a very long time to do. I'm not going to lie. It takes, I did this with a Pascal kit recently, and it took me, I don't know, maybe 30 layers total. And here, I'm going to use Genesis in this one. I'm going to see if there's a difference at all. Just dribble a little bit in there. Yellow is a super strong color, so you don't need as much. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of yellow in there. Maybe a little bit more. And then we'll add some white. I might need to put a little bit more yellow. We'll see how it goes here. And I will do just another little touch yellow here. Yes, a little bit more. All right, that looks good color-wise. And then again, I'm just gonna go ahead and fill my palette all the way up. So you can see the colors here that we're gonna be using. And for this, I'm just gonna pounce it on with a cosmetic wedge. I might paint a little bit on and then pounce it off, we'll see. And I'm not going too far into the creases on this one. I've already spent a lot of time painting the creases, so I'm just gonna leave them as is pretty much. If some gets on the creases, that's fine. I will clean them out with the dry mop brush, but I'm not worried too much about the creases. And I'm going to be rooting her hair, so I'm really not worrying about the whole head on here. And I will probably definitely lose some of the details that I have on here already. I'll need to touch those up. But I would, at this point, I would rather do that than spend a bunch of time stripping her and starting completely over. So I alternate these two, but not equally. I usually do about 3 layers of the blue to every one of the yellow. And this is something you can see to avoid looking chalky. Like you can't see any of this color on this baby yet. They are going to all work together, and she will be light and neutral when I'm finished, but you don't really see any noticeable difference for the first, I'll say 10 layers or so. After that, it'll all of a sudden start working together and you'll see a difference. If you can see a difference right away, it means that your mix is not thin enough and you don't want it to get chalky. I have an issue right here. This was not here last night, and she's been on my stand with no ink, no nothing. It's just like a black speck all of a sudden. And it looks like a stain. It does not look like an embedded black speck. So I'm just gonna try to get this off really quick. I just have some Winsor Newton brush cleaner, which is what I use for stripping. That is not coming off at all. Ugh. You guys will never be able to see this probably. It's coming from inside the vinyl. I don't know if you can see that. Ugh, that is such a bummer. Okay. I don't know exactly what happened. It was definitely not there. I painted her last night. That is a large thing that I definitely would have noticed. And I don't see any more on the vinyl, but I do see right here on the inside a speck exactly like that, a black speck. So it could be, you know, a stain inside the vinyl that baking is starting to bring it to the top. There's no way I can cover that up, so she's gonna have a little mole right there. That really sucks. I hope there aren't any more. I've actually never seen that before. You get embedded black specks that, you know, will start to rise to the top, but that is not a speck that you can like pick out. It is totally smooth. It looks like a dot with a Sharpie pretty much. So I'm gonna have to keep an eye on it. I really hope that they don't show up anywhere else, or that one gets bigger. And like I said, I'm doing this over paint that I've already done. If you have a kit that starts off way too orange, I would recommend doing this before you do anything else. Alright, I'm gonna get this in the oven. I will pause you guys and then I'll be back. Alright, so I got Teddy out of the oven. You can see there isn't a visible difference yet, but there's absolutely no chalkiness at all or anything on any of the parts. And I've looked at how long this video was already, and I'm not going to show the entire process. I would end up with like a 40-hour long video. But I am going to do a yellow right now just so you guys can see that. And then I will post a before and after picture as the cover of this video using this technique, so that you guys can see what the difference was. But so I'm going to do a yellow now. If I was not making a video, if I was just lightening her right now on my own, I would do probably 2 more blues and then I would do a yellow after that. But I am going to do yellow now, and then I'll probably do, you know, 3 or 4 more blues before I do another yellow. And this is a technique that you definitely want to bake after each layer. I have tried using this technique and doing like several blue layers and then baking, and I found when I did it that way, I did get some chalkiness. But I have done this multiple times, and I find when I bake after every layer of it, I don't get any chalkiness at all. And I have also tried this with mint green, and I don't know if it's just the wrong ratio of white to blue. But trying to mix them, I do not get the same effect either. I don't know exactly what it is, but you get the best result alternating them. And like I said, it takes a very, very long time. You have to be very patient to do this. After, you know, 8 or 9 layers, you're like, oh my God, this is, you know, useless. Nothing's going to happen. But then after about the 10th layer, all of a sudden you'll start to see that it is getting lighter, it is getting neutral, and that will kind of keep you going for the additional 10 to 20 more layers that you'll need. And you basically just want to stop when you get to the, you know, skin, the lightness and neutral level that you're looking for. There's no magic number. It is just your personal preferences and what you're going for with the kit that you're painting. The Pascal that I did, which is actually probably what I'll use for the cover photo of this, because I have a really good before and after. The other kits I've done, I don't really have before and afters. But, you know, that one took me probably 40 layers. It took a very long time. It was very frustrating, but it is so worth it. And most of these, none's really going in the crease, but I want to be really careful around the, you know, toes and big creases. If you do get some in there and it gets chalky, all you would need to do is just put some thinner on a Q-tip and clean it out. It's not that big of a deal, but it's always nicer to avoid extra work when you can. I was really hoping Teddy would be a quick paint for my doll show, and it looks like she's probably going to take a really long time, so she might be for sale when I'm finished on my regular website, because I really don't think that I will be able to finish her in time for the doll show. Alright guys, so I'm going to go ahead and pop this layer in the oven. But that is it. If you try this, let me know how it works for you. I really wish people could post photos in the comments. But you can always message me on Facebook. My link's in the description. I love seeing photos of people following my tutorials and stuff. It really makes me feel good. It's fun. It's awesome to see them. So if you want to do that, feel free. But I really hope that this helps someone struggling with a dark orange kit. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next one.